Welcome to sportsbookreview.com. I'm Flash, and this is your home for all the college bowls. We're nearly halfway through, and this is an absolute cracker at the Yankee Stadium. It's the Pinstripe Bowl. We've got the 6-6 Michigan State taking on Wake Forest, who sit at 8-4. Now, we've got Babano, we've got DJ Big Boss with us. How are you, gentlemen?
Doing good.
Good. DJ Big Boss, before you go into this game, let's start with Wake Forest. We've got Jamie Newman, quarterback, questionable with a knee. I expect him to play. Offensive lineman Nathan Gillen with a foot, and wide receiver Scotty Washington. And on the other side, we've got Brian Lewerke, 2,700 yards plus this year in the air. It's going to be a cracker.
Dead unders, Flash. I'm looking at this as a dead under. Both teams run the ball a lot on the ground. With Wake Forest, it is more of a read option type run, but they do run the ball both sides. But Michigan State defense, despite the terrible season they having, their defense plays some teams, to some nice games. They just couldn't get the oomph in it on offense. I don't think the offense is going to wake up out of nowhere in this last game and score a whole bunch of points. But I think the defense can contain Wake Forest in the stretch, and the offense can score just enough points to get under the total and get the win and take it home. But this team, Michigan State, is 3-9 to the under, and Wake Forest is 5-6-1 to the under. So both teams come in here, not really with a lot of overs right here. So this is a dead under right here. Book it.
One player I do like is Michigan State's Elijah Collins. I think he's a future star. I really, really like him and on the rushing game. And obviously that goes with your unders, Big Boss, because obviously I think there's a lot of time going to be spent on the run. The clock will get spent. Michigan State at -4 and the line's 50. At -4, I'll go with UWager. Go to sportsbookreview.com/UWager for everything you need. Press that button and you will be surprised. There's more than you need there. But Barno, I like Elijah Collins. I like the running game. And I'm quite happy to give up the 4 for Michigan State.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this. One of the best decisions I've been made from a betting standpoint this season in college football is not laying points with Michigan State at any time this season, and I'm not about to start here in this game. The problem is Wake Forest, as you mentioned, Flash, Jamie Newman, questionable. Key players on both sides of the ball, but especially offensively, injured and questionable for this game. And for as bad and putrid as Michigan State's offense was, I mean, we heard all this bluster that ended up being nothing but rubbish from Mark D'Antonio prior to the season, saying we're going to open up this offense. It's going to be explosive. It's going to be a much bigger play offense. We saw none of that. We saw Brian Lewerke struggle at times. We saw the run game be a very run-heavy, slow-paced, methodical offense. But Wake Forest defense was not good down the stretch. I mean, they gave up over 37 points per game in their last 4 or 5 games. So you've got a very, very difficult X's and O's fundamental handicap here. Who do you trust more? Do you trust a very, very suspect Michigan State offense, or do you trust a very, very suspect Wake Forest defense more in this matchup? Something's got to give here in this one. You also have to factor in that when you're dealing with this kind of matchup, we've got a Big Ten team versus an ACC team. Okay, the ACC wasn't any good this year. Clemson was great, elite, we know that. The Virginia schools, okay, they were pretty decent. After that, though, ACC was not good. This was not one of the better years for the ACC. So you have to ask yourself, a mid-tier Big Ten team with as good as that conference was this year, top to bottom, against a mid-tier ACC team for as bad and as down as that conference was top to bottom, yeah, there could be a little bit of a class difference here. It's tough because with Wake Forest injuries, I'm not going to back them plus the points yet, and I don't want to lay points with the bad Michigan State offense, but something tells me this could be more of a step down in class for Michigan State, that they can handle it easier than maybe a little bit of a step up in class here for Wake. So reluctantly, if I'm going to throw out a side, it's not a game I'm going to get anywhere close to betting, but if I were to, I'd lean ever so slightly to the favorite here, Michigan State.
And the other thing we've not mentioned is the weather in New York. And the weather in New York is not good. I mean, you've got to be thinking defense wins this game. And under 50 points, it seems like a big total when you've got two sides that are not going to be putting up massive points. Big question marks on Wake Forest. You've got Michigan, who are going to want to run the ball with Elijah Collins. So for me, I've got to give up the 4 with Michigan State. And I've got to go under the 50. Remember, go under the 50 with you wager. So this is your number 1 place for the college bowls. Next time up, we're going to go to the Texas Bowl. You take care.